The Lightworker Healing Protocol, An Invitation to Heal the Darkness by Dr. Anh Linh Nguyen. Be the change you wish to see in this world. Mahatma Gandhi. Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. Dr. Anh Linh speaking here. Today I'd like to share with you a new healing modality called the Lightworker Healing Protocol. This protocol can not only improve your well-being and heal your health problems, it can also turn the tide on how events unfold on this planet. But before I start, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Anh Linh Nguyen. I'm a licensed naturopathic doctor from Toronto. I've been working for more than 10 years in the field of naturopathy. I'm still practicing as of today, and I have a private clinic in Toronto. For those of you who are wondering what naturopaths do, I'll give you a quick idea. During the last year of my study at the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine, I worked as an intern at the Sherbourne Clinic. So the Sherbourne Clinic is a division of the Sherbourne Hospital in downtown Toronto. This hospital specializes in treating patients affected by the HIV virus. My co-workers and I would do our best to help AIDS patients cope with this disease. Most of them, if not all, take antiviral drugs. These drugs work, they keep them alive, but they also have many side effects. So we would use nutrition, herbal medicine, and supplements to reduce the side effects of these medications, and we do our best to enhance their quality of life. We also provide acupuncture treatments, lifestyle counseling, and support to help them cope with this illness. We have a holistic perspective on how the body works, and we try to integrate all these modalities to optimize the health of our patients. The year 2010, which was the year of my graduation, also coincides with my first awakening. Eventually, I spent the next 10 years researching and learning about metaphysics and reincarnation. In 2020, I had a second awakening around the beginning of this pandemic. At this stage, I felt it was time for me to put to practice what I have learned and contribute as a light worker. So in June 2020, I got certified as a practitioner of the Lightworker Healing Protocol. It was relatively easy for me to learn how to use this protocol because I already had enough background after a decade of research. I knew the landscape out there, was familiar with the New Age movement, and although there's a lot of misinformation out there, I was able to navigate through the sea of information and find my way thanks to my guardian angels and my higher self. But enough about me now, let's talk about you. Who is this for? This presentation is for all the lightworkers, healers, freedom fighters, and spirit warriors out there. It's for you if you are a holistic practitioner like me and you would like to add a new modality to your existing practice. It's for you if you have faith in Creator and the divine realm. This video will resonate with you if you're concerned about the current situations when you watch the news and you wish to cast your vote on what is happening in the world right now. This video will be a good fit for you if you're already praying for a better future for humanity and you are open to the field of metaphysics and distance healing. And finally, this is also for you if you're simply curious and would like to learn something new today. Before we dive in, let's go back a bit in time in China. Traditional Chinese medicine is about 3,000 years old. In traditional Chinese medicine, the site of intelligence is the heart, not the mind. Chinese doctors during the ancient era were oftentimes also martial artists. A kung fu master, for example, will look at the heart of his or her disciple and decide if he will take him or her as a student. If this person does not have integrity and good values, it is bad karma on the master to teach martial art to someone that may end up harming another person. So the heart is actually an important component in what we do in life. It gives you access to an understanding of reality that the mind may not have. Note that in this presentation, I will also be focusing on intuitive intelligence rather than evidence-based scientific proofs. So what is the definition of intuitive intelligence? Dr. Jane Addams defines intuitive intelligence as the guiding voice that assures you that you are not doing this journey called life on your own. Intuitive intelligence is your return home to a natural state because you know you are divinely supported at all times. This presentation will call on your faith, your intuition, and also on what resonates within your heart. I will also ask you to remain open because we may live on the same planet, but different people living in different places in the world can have a very different perspective on life. As a consequence, they will experience a different reality. We will be traveling to different parts of the world and we will be exploring different perspectives of what we call reality. Here's a beautiful story written by Nick Ripatrazzone on the website Truly Adventurous. The story takes place in Burma, known today as Myanmar. Burma is located in Southeast Asia between India and Thailand. This is a true story about a Canadian-born American psychiatrist named Ian Stevenson and his subject of investigation, Martin Ong Myo. Ian Stevenson grew up in Montreal, Canada. As a young boy, Ian was often sick and he spent a lot of time at home, sometimes bedridden. Because of that, he filled most of his days reading books from his mother's library, a library that was filled with occult books and stories on reincarnation. Years later, when he graduated from med school, he moved to the USA. He worked as a psychiatrist for the University of Virginia School of Medicine. Despite his training in conventional medicine, the stories he read during his childhood stayed with him. He eventually became one of the pioneers in investigating cases of reincarnation. This story is called The Reincarnated. And in terms of timeline, I'd like to remind you that World War II officially began in 1939 and ended in 1945. Martin Ong Myo, on the other hand, was born in 1953. Martin is a young Burmese woman who claims she's the reincarnation of a Japanese soldier killed by an aeroplane during the Second World War near an acacia tree. Martin Ong Myo, she's here in the middle between her brother on your right and her sister on your left. The first time Stevenson met Martin, she was only 19. Know that Ma in Burmese means miss. From a very young age, Tin would exhibit very unusual behaviors. Tin would play with boys. She likes to play at soldiers and with toy gun. As she grew up, she would wear boys' clothes and consistently showed a masculine style. At the age of 3 or 4 years old, she showed a strong aversion to aeroplanes, often recoiling and feeling fearful each time an aeroplane flew above her. One day, a helicopter landed in her remote village. Everybody gathered around that helicopter. Tin, on the other hand, ran in the opposite direction and cried. Stevenson interviewed Ong Myo and her family, looking for all the details and any inconsistencies in her testimonial. With the help of an interpreter, Martin describes her vivid memories in great details. During the Second World War, a Japanese soldier made a pile of firewood to prepare a meal for himself. He sat near a wide acacia tree. The weather was extremely hot on that day. A two-tailed aeroplane flew above him, turned, and eventually dove toward him. Bullets were flying in his direction. One bullet hit his groin and, as Nick wrote it so well, according to the local spiritual beliefs, the other more important part of him was turned loose soon after the first bullet ripped through him. Martin's family was living in close proximity from where the previous person had died, about 75 meters near an acacia tree. Tin had a birthmark near her groin that eventually disappeared with time. She didn't like the heat of the country and the spicy food which is typical of Burmese cuisine. She likes to eat fish, especially raw, and had a strong longing for Japan. She wanted to go home. Tin can also recall that the soldier had 5 children. The oldest was a boy. The soldier owned a small shop in Japan before joining the army. He had been a cook in the Japanese army and had died while the Japanese were leaving Burma. The aeroplane from which the Strathing came had 2 tails and could have been either American or British. Through his research, Stevenson was able to confirm that the U.S. Air Force used more than one kind of plane. They did use 2-tailed planes in the Southeast Asian campaigns in World War II. You know, people living in different parts of the world can have different reactions to the exact same story, and this is not a bad thing. While Stevenson was being attacked and ridiculed by his peers in the US for talking about reincarnation, Martin, on the other hand, experienced a different reaction. Her family listened to her amazing story and believed her. People in the village also accepted her explanation. People in Asian countries believe in reincarnation. And why would her mother reject her narrative? During her pregnancy, Martin's mother had recurring dreams. She dreamed on 3 occasions of a stocky Japanese soldier who followed her, saying he would come and stay with her and her husband. He was wearing short pants and no shirt, and she recognized him as the army cook, but was afraid and told him not to follow her. She was not aware that he had been killed. Stevenson's investigation was not necessarily easy and without challenges. As Tin grew older, her memories faded and her aversion for the heat and the spicy food of her country also faded. Her birthmark had completely disappeared by the time Stevenson met her. Her longing to go back to Japan eventually subsided. However, she did retain her tomboy attitude and ended up living with another woman later in her life. Eventually, Stevenson published her case in a book chapter called Cases of the Reincarnation Type, 12 Cases in Thailand and Burma, and also in the Journal of Nervous and Mental Disease under the title of The Southeast Asian Interpretation of Gender Dysphoria, an Illustrative Case Report. This story is also available in the Psi Encyclopedia. Back in North America, Native Americans also have a unique perspective on reality and the world. Native Americans are renowned for their connection to the land and nature. There's a great spirit who created the earth and all life forms. In their collective consciousness, all life forms should be respected, including animals and plants. Here's a quote from Sitting Bull. Every seed is awakened, and so is all animal life. It is through this mysterious power that we too have our being, and we therefore yield to our animal neighbors the same right as ourselves to inhabit this land. I believe it is our duty as stewards of the earth to request divine assistance and protection when the forces of destruction are too strong and are harming all life forms. Now let's jump to West Africa and see what they have to share. Many cultural beliefs in countries like Mali, Nigeria, Ghana, or Côte d'Ivoire acknowledge the presence of spirits in their daily lives. Here's an excerpt from Dabo about their beliefs. Shh! There are spirits lurking. In traditional West Africa, Humans and spirits have always stood side by side, occasionally reaching over to tap one another on the shoulder as if to remind each other of their mutual existence. Whatever tenuous line is drawn between them is porous. Humans must hold their ground as spirits, malicious, capricious, and sometimes benevolent, wander. You can see here that the connection between spirits from the other side of the veil with the living people is not only acknowledged in this culture, but from their perspective, much more common than you think. Let's move to Tibet now. Tibet holds a large community of spiritual people dedicated to meditation and prayers. Some high-ranked monks were aware of lost souls. Lobsang Rampa was the author of the Saffron Robe and was also a Tibetan monk, describes the ceremony held to rescue these earthbound souls. Lobsang was a young boy at the time he witnessed this event. He was living in Potala. He was a young apprentice, still in training, but he was gifted with intuitive abilities and was clairvoyant. One day, he fell asleep in one of the minor temples where he used to go to meditate alone, far from other monks of his age. The Lama, entering the temples for their secret service, woke him up, and that's how he was able to witness the ceremony. He was hidden behind one of the multiple statues, and here's what he saw. In front of me, in a circle, were 9 lamas, all in their saffron robes, all with their heads facing the center of the circle. There was an enormous rock crystal, flawless, perfect. They eyed it intently, and yet not so intently as to engage their physical eyes, but their third eye. I let my clairvoyant faculties come into play, and in the crystal I saw colors and a smoky turbulence. A world was stretching out in front of me, a world where there were different colors, different standard. I saw people wandering about, full of misery, full of sadness. Some were full of pain. They were lost souls, souls without guidance, souls pondering on a method of release from their worries. The leader of the Lama group clapped his hands. The one next to him rang a bell, and the third of the group lifted up his voice in a ritualistic chant. In unison, the cadence of their voices rising and falling, lifting me out of time, out of myself. They lifted incense sticks one by one. There was a whole group of people coming my way. Some were old people who leaned upon sticks, barefooted, clad in tattered rags. Others were obviously men of wealth. For one thing stood out particularly about these men and women: they were miserable, frightened. The slightest movement made them jump and clap their hands across their breasts. They seemed to feel that they were alone, forgotten, desolated, and abandoned in some alien world. They came on lured by the voices which I too could hear. Oh, listen to the voices of our souls, all you who wandered, unguided. The chant and the droning went on, and the people came on also. As they came to a certain spot, each face lit up with a sort of unearthly joy. Each person stood more erect, as if he or she had received an assurance, and they moved along out of my sight. That's Lobsang's tale on the ceremony held by the Lamas for these earthbound souls to help them transition back to the light. Now, I'd like to talk about some research done by a psychic medium and channeler named Carl Mollison. Here's what he found through his work with Archangel Michael. 1/3 of people who died remain earthbound and stay in limbo. Remember what Debo said about spirits wandering side by side with humans? Carl Mollison found out that 9 people out of 10 have spirit attachments. I give you an example of the type of spirit attachment you may have. So it can be a lost soul that have a karmic tie to you, fallen angels that feed on your energy for their survival, or intermittent attackers that come and go. Spirit attachments can give you unexplained chronic fatigue, anxiety, depression, fear, and addiction. In fact, 76% of all divorces are caused by dark spirit attachment. 90% of crimes are caused by dark spirits. 55 to 100% of mental disorders are also due to dark spirit attachments. And more than 78% of all your physical illnesses are due to past life karma. I talk extensively about this subject on another video called The Lightworker Healing Protocol, A Divine Perspective on Healing. If you're currently experiencing some health issues and you're looking for solutions to heal these health concerns, check out that video on my YouTube channel, Toronto Green Naturopath. You may find an answer there. Now, let's learn a little bit more about Carl Mollison. Carl Mollison is a psychic medium and a board-certified hypnotist. Prior to that, he was a research scientist in the field of pharmacology. He has published many articles in many scientific journals, and he also owns patents from research on drugs and medical devices. He is the author of the Lightworker Healing Protocol. He developed this extensive protocol with the help of other practitioners and uses his channeling sessions with Creator to vet these suggestions. He not only channels Source Creator, but also famous people like Phil Schneider, Harriet Tubman, and John F. Kennedy. He always emphasizes on protection prayers for accuracy when channeling and doing energy work such as meditation or Reiki, for example. He found that it is possible to miss your target if you're not requesting protection when doing this type of work. Here are the next questions we might ask now that we know of these issues. Can we get rid of dark spirits affecting people's health and well-being? How can we heal those who are so misaligned they end up being called criminals or psychopaths? Can we bring balance back to our planet Earth so we can get rid of hurricanes, floodings, and wildfires? Can we help deceased ones cross and reach the light? And finally, can we prevent wars, a food shortage, and a potential future financial collapse? The answer is yes to all the above. We can do that through prayers. Prayer is our connection to our divine source. We can send requests asking Creator for help and healing. We can also use the Lightworker Healing Protocol, which is a high-level prayer, to address all these issues. Here's Creator's definition of the Lightworker Healing Protocol channeled by Carl Mollison. The Lightworker Healing Protocol is a comprehensive series of healing requests designed to truly address every potential source of negativity that can befall a person, whether they are perpetrator, victim, or a combination of the two. This will right the wrongs carried out by them or enacted against them in ways that will truly rebalance things, by healing what is out of alignment and what the causal elements were that contributed to the travesty. Now, I'd like to discuss the difference between the Lightworker Healing Protocol and regular prayers. First of all, both the LHP and regular prayers are shielded from outside listening. Because there's a special cord between you and Creator, and because this cord is different from the connection you have with other individuals in your life, all your requests and prayers are protected. Second, all prayers are always heard. As you will see in a couple of minutes, the Lightworker Healing Protocol is very detailed-oriented compared to regular prayers. We also enlist the help of other light beings and we pull it together with the work of other LHP practitioners. Keywords are used to launch this protocol in perpetuity. For example, we would use phrases such as each and every day, on a daily basis, and we ask to keep the healing going with momentum. We would use advanced techniques to request healing, and we apply it to all time domains. That is, your past, present, and future lifetimes and their extensions. That's why you have to be comfortable with the concept of reincarnation and karma if you want to use this protocol. It is one of the foundations of the LHB. Most regular prayers address issues in this lifetime, but now we know that we have to extend the request to encompass other lifetimes to bring in-depth healing to all your life issues. Here's the Lightworker Healing Protocol in all its details. We net all dark spirits in white light, and with the help of Archangel Azrael, we send them to the divine light. We remove from all levels of your being any curse-like attacks, spells, projections, dark energy, and destructive blessings. We request a dissolution of all karmic contracts, and we heal the energies arising from them. We return any extra and missing soul fragments. Soul fragments can arise as a result of trauma or a loss, for example. We replace any psychic attacks with healing light. We ask Creator to release all harmful vows, oaths, contracts, and agreements that you may have made, not only in this lifetime, but other lifetimes as well. We don't cut the cords, but we remove them and we heal their points of attachment. We also remove any negative thought forms and free-floating memories you may have, and we replace them with positive downloads. We ground, open, and balance your chakras, and we fill them with healing light. We also request an alignment according to Creator's plan. In quantum healing, we bring in new instructions of well-being and youthfulness from a future timeline, and we apply them to this current life and all your parallel lives. We send a quantum bubble of love to all your unborn selves as a source of love and nourishment. In soul reawakening, we fill all your lives with soul healing white light to return your soul to a state of grace prior to trauma and disappointment. In soul matrix healing, healing is applied to the point of origination of your problem, which can be a perpetrator, a limiting cultural belief, or other forms of intrusive consciousness. There's also a request of connection to the higher self. In this case, we ask to fully open the connection between you and your higher self to allow unrestricted flow of love and light. This healing technique will not only restore your intuitive gateway, but it will also reverse any damage done to the mind by dark entities. The flow of love and light is also the life force that will sustain your existence on this physical plane. It is said that once this connection is severed, death will result. We ask for repair and healing of the thought plane, the Akashic records, and the collective unconscious. Then we request active protection on your behalf from outside attacks. We also ask for repair of the connection between the conscious mind and the deep subconscious, as well as protection from subconscious programming. We also ask for cellular repair and trauma resolution during the dream state, repair of any genetic distortion and alteration. We ask to heal all manifestations of cellular memory associated with prior maladies. And finally, we safeguard your transition upon passing for a safe return to the light. Included in this protocol, you'll find blessing of the food and drinks, healing of the negative effects of invasive medical procedures such as blood transfusions and donations, removal of all harmful viruses and microorganisms, removal of the negative effects of electromagnetic fields and radiation, removal of all heavy metals and toxins found in the body, and finally, removal of all hazards, energies, and disasters from the environment. We ask Creator to transmute any negative intentions and energies into a positive force for healing, and we apply this request throughout the entire protocol. The Lightworker Healing Protocol can also be used to heal your pets suffering from anxiety, cardiovascular disease, and kidney problems, just to name a few. It can also heal them if they have been a victim of abuse in the past. This protocol has been successfully used to clear locations. We always ask permission from the elementals of the land. You can use it to clear a haunted location and help earthbound souls transition back to the light. You can charge any vortex with positive energy, and of course, you can ask for protection for your home. If enough people are using this protocol, we can ward off natural disasters such as hurricanes, drought, and protect our planet from major disruptive forces. This is my personal take of the LHP. So know that what I will say in the next couple of minutes reflect my personal opinion of this protocol and the experience I've gained so far. The LHP can be done from the comfort of your home. Once you know how to use it, you can request healing on a daily basis for yourself and your loved ones. The not so good news is healing can be slow. This is not the magic lamp of Aladdin where everything that you wish will manifest according to what you have in mind. Whether it is a minor or a major health issue, it can take quite some time. Although we are asking for divine healing and protection, this protocol is not bulletproof. There are many factors that can affect the results. For example, your free will can play an important role. Your limiting beliefs can either slow down or speed up the outcome. Karmic entanglements can take time to solve, and the deep subconscious mind may also interfere with the healing process. So know that all these factors will affect the results you'll get. On the other hand, know that as a practitioner, you'll develop a unique partnership with Creator when you use this protocol. The divine realm also works behind the scene to heal, and you may or may not get feedback whether you are a practitioner or a client. So good luck to all the practitioners out there who are genuinely wanting to help others. As a recipient of this healing modality, know that you may not necessarily feel or sense anything once this protocol is launched. As a practitioner, you will finally be able to cast your vote on how events unfold on this planet and take a proactive approach. This is a unique tool that is primarily designed to solve problems on a worldwide scale. The good news is, if enough people embrace this protocol, it can change the momentum and the direction in which events are currently heading. But we need numbers, we need enough people who are willing to send the request. And finally, know that time is also of the essence in this game. Now let's remind ourselves of some truths that were forgotten. Free will is honored in the Milky Way galaxy. The divine realm and Creator do not lead. All soul-based beings have free will, including angels, and that means we have an ego. Corruption or being out of divine alignment is allowed, although there is retribution through the law of karma. Fallen angels were the first creatures that were out of alignment. Eventually, they corrupted other beings, including humans and non-humans. And that eventually gave rise to the world of duality and fight that we have right now between the light and the darkness. How does distance healing work? So far, I haven't answered this question yet, but Empress Wu Zetian and Sun Yat-sen will answer this question for you. Remember what I said earlier? Carl Mollison also channels famous people. So let's find out how the LHP works. Empress Wu Zetian from China. She was born in 624 before Christ and died in 705 before Christ. She belongs to the Tang dynasty. She was the only woman in the history of China to be called the title Huangdi, a title that is only reserved for emperors of China. She started out as a concubine and was renowned for her beauty. She was also literate and knew about Chinese history, literature, government affairs, and music. We know that she established her own dynasty. According to historians, she was a successful ruler and military leader, but ruthless. We found out through her channeling interview with Carl Mollison that she stayed in limbo for 200 years after her physical death. Here's what she said during her channeling session. There is always a triangulation in play in everything that happens in the earth plane. You have humans, the Dark Alliance corrupting humans, Creator and the divine realm, presiding over it all from a position of observation and non-interference unless a role is asked through active request to intervene through ordinary prayers. Dr. Sun Yat-sen now. Dr. Sun Yat-sen was a medical physician and Chinese statesman. He played an instrumental role in overthrowing the last dynasty of China, the Qing dynasty. He was called the father of the nation and became the provisional president of the Republic of China. He was respected in both mainland China and Taiwan. He died of gallbladder cancer in 1925. His cancer was actually the result of karma. He had been tortured and killed in a previous lifetime. Dr. Sun Yat-sen in the light now channeled by Carl Mollison, and this is what he says. Those who are in alignment with the darkness hold power only to the extent they can take love away from others. It is the loss of love in weakening their victims that makes the evil ones powerful. What is created within the physical plane must be healed within the physical plane. The Lightworker Healing Protocol bridges the gap between human ignorance and limited energetic capability and the much greater reach of the divine, which is powerless without human initiatives. And about the perpetrators, something mysterious happens for them to have a change of heart, so at once they open like a flower and finally can embrace the sun. This is a complex, multi-level energetic alteration that brings about healing on a grand scale. Here are the benefits of requesting a healing session. First, you will be free of entity attachments. Remember, according to Carl Mollison, 90% of the population on this planet has entity attachments of all kinds. So you will belong to the 10% of the population that do not have spirit attachments. We will request dissolution of vows, oaths, and karmic contracts on your behalf to help you start fresh. For example, a chastity vow in a past life can interfere with your ability to conceive in this lifetime. Or your business may not be able to thrive if you have made a poverty oath in another lifetime, for example. Healing of your health issues is done by the divine realm, not a human practitioner. Remember, as an LHP practitioner, I'm only sending the request on your behalf. I'm not doing the healing. There will also be a strengthening of the connection between you and your higher self to allow better intuitive guidance, a better flow of life force to flow to you and through you, and that will eventually result in an increase of your lifespan. We will also apply trauma resolution during the dream state for healing your body, mind, and soul. And finally, we will ensure a safe transition back to the light upon your passing. If you wish to become a practitioner of the Lightworker Healing Protocol, here are the benefits you will gain. You will be able to strengthen your partnership with Creator and the Divine Realm all along the way. You will be able to heal yourself and your loved ones in a unique way. You will be able to take a proactive approach, and you can finally cast your vote on worldwide events by pooling your prayers with the prayers of other practitioners and other beings in the light. There are many, many karmic benefits that will arise from making the decision to be involved. You will be among the ones that will help humanity shift into a better and safer destiny. And finally, if you choose to become an LHP practitioner, know that you will belong to a group of wonderful practitioners coming from all around the world. Here's the dilemma we are facing right now. We need enough people that are awakened to this reality to send the request. We need enough prayers to make a difference. But the good news is we only need to send the request. Prayers and the LHP can be done from the safety of your home and in your mind and heart. The Divine Realm and Creator will do the heavy lifting. Healing always starts with you. You have to put the oxygen mask on you first, and then you can assist others. Once you are healed, then you can start your journey in helping others and make a difference in this world. We are almost at the end of this video. Know that you are important, you count, your prayers count, and if you feel you can bring those prayers to another level, in other words, if you feel you can learn and use this protocol, please let me know. Especially if you're a client or a patient of mine, you had a first-hand experience of this healing modality, you know it works, please get in touch. Time is not on our side. For all of you out there who wish to make this place a better world, please pray often. Ask for protection in your daily life and in all your endeavors. Thank you for watching, everyone, and please share this video on your social media. Take care, everyone, and God bless.